Has someone you love started showing small but concerning signs over the past year? Most people living on Earth think that death occurs suddenly in old age. But the truth is that the body usually sends silent warnings months, sometimes even a year, before reaching the final stage of life. The problem is that most people miss these signs because they seem small at first. If we look closely, maybe we will notice these problems, and our loved ones will live longer thanks to us. But I believe that families who pay attention to the topics I will explain in 5 points shortly will feel at ease in their conscience after gaining this awareness. In this video, we will discuss 5 significant signs that are often observed about a year before an elderly person's passing. Some of them might be signs you've noticed but thought were just a natural part of aging. Others are changes that may seem insignificant, but actually indicate that the body is gradually weakening. Noticing these signs early will give you the opportunity to provide better care for your loved ones, to appreciate the meaningful moments you spend together, and most importantly, to help them spend the final phase of their lives in comfort, dignity, and peace. Watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Let's get started. The first sign: weight loss. One of the earliest and most obvious signs that a person is approaching the last year of their life is involuntary weight loss. It may initially show itself subtly. We need to pay attention to sudden loss of appetite and take precautions, because most families ignore it, thinking it's part of aging. Weight loss without effort is generally not a good sign. Generally, the main reasons for weight loss are the body's inability to efficiently absorb nutrients, the decrease in muscle mass, and the slowing down of basic systems. Although the aging process naturally leads to muscle loss, when this loss occurs rapidly, it may be a sign of a more serious problem. The body may not be able to properly digest food or adequately process proteins, leading to muscle loss. Weakness not only makes movement difficult, but also increases the risk of falling, weakens the immune system, and makes one vulnerable to infections. Another important reason for weight loss in the last year of life is changes in appetite. Many elderly individuals do not feel as hungry as they used to. Due to the weakening of taste sensations, meals are not as enjoyable as before, which can lead to skipping meals or settling for smaller portions. However, this is not just a preference. It is also an indication of a physiological change. The body, sensing that it is shutting down, no longer signals the brain to frequently search for food. The result? Less energy, less strength, and a gradual decline in overall health. Additionally, underlying medical conditions also play a role. Weight loss is a common symptom of chronic diseases such as cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease. All of these can begin to progress long before more obvious symptoms appear. Even conditions like depression or cognitive decline can create a downward spiral where the body does not receive enough nutrients to sustain itself, leading to decreased food intake. Some families are trying to solve the problem by encouraging their loved ones to eat more, offering their favorite foods, or supplementing meals with protein drinks. However, if weight continues to decrease despite these efforts, it is important to acknowledge that the issue is not just dietary. The body is preparing for a deeper transition. At this stage, forcing large meals may not be effective. Instead, focusing on comfort, easily digestible foods, and hydration can make a bigger difference in maintaining quality of life. It will be beneficial for us to pay special attention to fluid supplementation. If you notice a significant weight loss in an elderly relative, especially if they are eating less, feeling weaker, or having difficulty staying active, it is time to pay attention. This is not just about physical appearance. It's about the body sending a message. Understanding that message now will help you prepare with clarity, compassion, and the ability to make every remaining moment meaningful. Second sign: sharp-minded and attentive individuals may start forgetting more often, have difficulty following conversations, or even in familiar places. they may appear confused, as if seeing them for the first time. Around him, they may forget people's names or not be aware of the time. Even if they have never experienced memory problems before, subtle cognitive changes can appear months, even a year, before death. This is different from ordinary forgetfulness. The brain, like other organs, requires a regular flow of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. However, as circulation weakens and the amount of oxygen reaching the brain decreases, cognitive functions also begin to slow down. A person may become more easily confused, have difficulty making decisions, or struggle to remember people and places they have known for years. At times, everything may seem completely clear, but suddenly they might experience a sudden confusion. It's as if their mind is coming and going. Speaking of the mind, I want to talk about emotional withdrawal, which is a common symptom. A person nearing the end of their life may gradually lose interest in social interactions. You may notice that they talk less, don't participate in conversations, or sit quietly for long periods. The reason for this is not that they don't care about their loved ones. Their brains can no longer process emotions and social interactions as they used to. Conversations become exhausting, crowded environments feel overwhelming, and eventually, many elderly people retreat into their worlds. There can also be noticeable changes in mood and behavior. Some people may become more irritable, anxious, or easily frustrated, while others may appear indifferent and calm towards things that were once important to them. This is not just a personality change. It is a result of the brain adapting to the body's regression process. As cognitive functions slow down, expressing emotions becomes difficult, and the person starts to react to their surroundings less like before. This process can be quite difficult for family members. Seeing a loved one starting to lose touch with reality or becoming emotionally distant can make you feel like you are losing them before they are actually gone. However, the most important thing to remember is that this is not within their control. Instead of forcing them into conversations, the best approach is to adapt to their pace and be there for them. Use a gentle tone, provide reassurance, and know that even if they don't always respond, they feel your presence. If a loved one is becoming increasingly forgetful, absent-minded, or indifferent, don't ignore it. These may be early signs that the body and mind are preparing for a major transition. This period is a time to be patient, appreciate the value of quiet moments, and create a safe, familiar, and peaceful environment for your loved ones. Because even if words diminish, the presence of love and peace can always be felt. If you're still here and find this information useful, leave a second comment below so I can see that you're with us too. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos. Your support helps us produce more informative and inspiring content. Let's continue. Third sign: excessive fatigue and weakness. One of the most noticeable changes during the year when life comes to an end is a deep and persistent fatigue that does not go away with rest. This is not just feeling a bit tired after a long day. It is a deep fatigue that makes even simple tasks overwhelming. Getting out of bed becomes a challenge. Walking around the room requires effort, and activities that once seemed routine, like cooking, getting dressed, or even having a conversation, become very tiring. This is not just a result of aging. It is a sign that the body is conserving its remaining energy. As organ function begins to slow down, the body starts to prioritize what is most important for itself. The heart no longer pumps as efficiently, circulation weakens, and the muscles can no longer receive the oxygen they once did. Therefore, you may see many elderly individuals appearing weak, unsteady, and unable to maintain the same level of activity they once enjoyed in recent months. Another important factor is the slowing down of metabolism. The body is designed to produce and use energy, but as it prepares for the final stage, this energy is redirected. Instead of fueling movement, the body shifts towards conservation. Therefore, a regressing person may start sleeping more, need longer naps during the day, and have difficulty staying awake for long periods. Some may experience sudden energy drops, looking fine one moment and completely drained the next. But perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this process is the emotional toll of fatigue. Many elderly people who once took pride in their independence are now starting to feel frustrated or even ashamed because they can no longer do the things they used to. They may withdraw from conversations, avoid social interactions, or stop engaging in hobbies, not because they don't care, but simply because they lack the energy. This can lead to a cycle of isolation where they completely stop trying, which only accelerates the regression. For families, watching their loved ones go from being active and engaged to becoming tired and withdrawn can be painful. It is easy to assume that they are just being lazy or that they need to get over this situation. But the truth is that forcing them to be active does not work. The most important thing is to understand their limits, allow them to rest when they need it, and make their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If you notice that someone you love is experiencing deep and persistent fatigue that doesn't go away with rest, it may be a sign that their body is undergoing an important transformation. Process. Now is the time to make conversations meaningful, create peaceful moments, and offer them unconditional support. Because in the end, the most valuable thing is not how active they are, but feeling loved, knowing they are understood, and being at peace. Our fourth sign is frequent infections and slow healing. As the body slows down, one of the most noticeable physical signs is the weakening of the immune system. You may notice that someone who rarely got sick before now catches every cold, flu, or minor infection. Small wounds, cuts, or bruises heal much more slowly than before, and even ordinary illnesses can take a long time to recover from. These changes are not random. They indicate a decrease in the body's ability to defend and repair itself. Especially recurrent infections can be concerning. Problems such as pneumonia, urinary tract infections, skin infections, and oral infections become more common as the immune system weakens. Although many families see these as separate illnesses, if they occur frequently and the recovery time is prolonged, it may be a sign that the body can no longer fight as it used to. Once rapidly effective antibiotics may no longer be as effective as they used to be. Even mild infections may require stronger drugs, longer treatments, or multiple rounds of treatment. The reason for this is the slowing of circulation and the reduced capacity of organs to respond to treatment. Noticing such symptoms early can be an important step in providing better support to your loved ones and making them more comfortable. Another overlooked issue: chronic wounds. If you notice that small cuts, bruises, or wounds take a long time to heal or keep reopening, it may be a sign of poor circulation in the body. Decreased blood flow makes it difficult for tissues to receive enough oxygen and nutrients, which slows down the healing process. Especially in individuals with reduced mobility, pressure sores can pose a serious risk and, if not controlled, can lead to infections. Moreover, infections in elderly individuals may not always present symptoms as we expect. Instead of a high fever, it may manifest with more subtle signs such as sudden fatigue, confusion, or loss of appetite. In fact, mental sluggishness or sudden confusion can be the first warning sign of an infection in the elderly before other physical symptoms appear. Therefore, noticing these changes early can make a big difference. It can be difficult to see your loved ones struggling with recurring infections, and it may be tempting to resort to aggressive treatment. However, at a certain point, providing comfort becomes more important than treatment. Keeping their skin clean and moisturized, ensuring they stay hydrated, and minimizing unnecessary stress can sometimes provide more benefit than prolonged medication treatments. If you're still here and find this information valuable, leave a fourth comment below so we know you're with us. If you haven't subscribed yet, Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us provide you with more informative and inspiring content. Yes, let's move on to our last point. Fifth sign. One of the most obvious signs that your body is preparing for the final stage. Changes in the circulatory system are also noteworthy. You may notice that your hands, feet, and even your nose or ears feel cold to the touch. There may also be differences in skin tone, especially around the fingers and toes. Pallor, bruising, or mottling may be observed. The reason for this is that the body reduces circulation in the limbs while directing blood flow to vital organs. The heart pumping less forcefully is one of the main reasons for these changes. The person's daily activities can also become difficult. Even simple activities that she used to do comfortably can now cause shortness of breath and a feeling of exhaustion. They may feel the need to pause frequently while speaking or become fatigued even after short distances. Walking, sitting, or even changing positions in bed can be challenging for them. In some individuals, fluid accumulation in the lungs may be observed, which can make breathing difficult. A persistent cough, wheezing, or a feeling of tightness in the chest may occur. These symptoms are often mistaken for a simple respiratory tract disorder, but they generally indicate that the lungs are weakening. The person may feel more discomfort when lying flat, and therefore may prefer to sleep in a sitting position supported by pillows. It can be difficult for family members to observe these symptoms. They may want to help their loved ones breathe more easily or encourage them to move. However, this process is generally a natural slowing down of the body. Although there is not always a way to completely reverse these changes, it is possible to increase the individual's comfort. Keeping the room cool, using a humidifier, or ensuring they drink small amounts of water can reduce discomfort. In some cases, medications prescribed by doctors or oxygen support may also be beneficial. But at this point, the priority is to provide comfort rather than treatment. If you notice symptoms such as respiratory irregularities, cold extremities, or skin discoloration in your loved one, these may be signs that the body is starting to conserve energy and the circulatory system is slowing down. The most important thing during this process is to be by the side of your loved one to provide them with reassurance and to create a peaceful environment. Thank you for being with us today. We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share with us something you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts are very valuable to us, so don't hesitate to write. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and inspiration. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.